Clash of the Titans, 2010, is set in the Greek city of Argos, where a conflict between man and God is about to erupt. A narrator introduces the brothers Zeus, Liam Neeson, Poseidon, Danny Huston, and Hades, Ralph Fiennes, who fought the Titans long ago. With his creation, the Kraken, Hades gave a means of destroying the Titans. After the Titans were defeated, Zeus created humanity and controlled them, while Poseidon ruled the sea, but Hades was forced to rule the underworld after being duped by Zeus. Zeus and Poseidon gain power through human petitions, while Hades learns through terror. Spiros, Pete Postlethwaite, a fisherman, discovers a casket adrift in the sea, containing a newborn, Perseus, and his deceased mother, Dana, Tyne Staplefelt. Spiros makes the decision to raise Perseus as his own. Years later, Perseus, Sam Worthington, and his family are fishing when they see a group of Argonian troops demolish a Zeus statue as a declaration of war against the gods. Hades appears and orders harpies to slaughter the troops before destroying Perseus' family's fishing boat. Perseus struggles in vain to preserve his family. Perseus is returned to Argos by the surviving warriors. King Cepheus, Vincent Regan, and Queen Cassiopeia, Polly Walker and Catherine Lepke, of Argos compare themselves and their daughter, Andromeda, Alexa Davalos, to the gods during a feast for returning warriors, much to their daughter's chagrin. Hades enters in the courtroom before killing the remaining soldiers, after persuaded his brother to let him loose on humanity to punish Argos for its arrogance. Perseus remains unaffected. Hades threatens to destroy Argos in 10 days if Princess Andromeda is not sacrificed to the Kraken after revealing Perseus to be Zeus' demigod son and aging Cassiopeia to death. The messenger god Hermes, Alexander Siddig, approaches Zeus on Olympus, reporting the location of his son Perseus. Hermes advises that Perseus be given shelter, but Zeus says that he, like the other infidel humans, will be abandoned to his fate. After being imprisoned, the king seeks the assistance of Perseus. Perseus refuses to be tempted by a god until he encounters Io, Gemma Arterton, a lady who does not age as punishment for refusing to be seduced by a god. Io tells that Perseus' conception was Zeus' retribution for his deeds against the gods against Acrisius, Jason Fleming, the former king of Argos who was married to Dana. When Acrisius abandoned Dana and the baby Perseus in their coffin, Zeus became outraged and blasted Acrisius with lightning, leaving him horribly deformed. Perseus agrees to assist after discovering that destroying the Kraken will allow him to exact his retribution on Hades. He and Argos' finest troops set off to find the Stygian witches, accompanied by a pair of Persian monster hunters named Ixas, Hans Matheson, and Kukuk, Mulaudakur, and Io. To counteract this turn of events, Hades enlists Acrisius, now known as Calibos, to assassinate Perseus. Calibos is endowed with extraordinary abilities by Hades. Perseus and his warriors discover in the woods a sword fashioned in Olympus that can only be handled by Perseus. Perseus meets Zeus' sacred herd of flying horses, the Pegasus, when separated from the group. However, Perseus declines both the sword and the pure black Pegasus offered by the gods as assistance since he does not want to be a deity. Calibos assaults the group and attempts to murder Perseus, killing numerous troops in the process, but Calibos fails and loses his hand before fleeing. Calibos' blood, on the other hand, causes huge scorpions to emerge from the sand and assault Perseus and his companions. Despite killing several scorpions, the majority of the group is killed, and the survivors are encircled by more of the beasts. The Jinn, a tribe of once human desert sorcerers who have replaced their earthly flesh with ash and terrible sorcery, save them. The strange beings have the ability to hypnotize scorpions into servitude. The Jinn commander, Sheikh Suleiman, Ian White, joins Perseus' crew despite not being trusted previous to mending Perseus' wound. The Jinn want the gods' desire for destruction to fail. The heroes arrive in Stygia, where they hear from the Stygian witches that the head of the Gorgon Medusa, Natalia Vodianova, may slay the Kraken, but Perseus and his companions will perish in the process. After fleeing the witches and the hunters, Perseus is visited by Zeus, who offers him shelter on Mount Olympus, but he declines. Zeus instead offers him a golden drachma, which Perseus later discovers is a means of bribing Charon for entrance into the underworld. While Io waits outside Medusa's lair owing to a spell that prevents any woman from entering, Perseus' remaining warriors battle valiantly to stay alive, but are turned to stone one by her sight. Perseus succeeds to behead Medusa and her staggering body falls into a fire thanks to Suleiman's self-destruction and Draco's sacrifice. Perseus appears just in time to see Calibos stab Io from behind. Perseus fights Calibos and kills him with the sword of Olympus, transforming him back into Acrisius in human form. Acrisius tells Perseus not to become a deity with his final breath as Hades' strength leaves him. Perseus stays with the ailing Io until she dies, then rides Pegasus back to Argos with Medusa's head, only to discover that certain Argonian residents have formed a Hades cult and are plotting to sacrifice Andromeda to the Kraken against the wishes of the king. By then, Hades has revealed to Zeus that the destruction of Argos will provide him with sufficient strength to topple the other Olympians, before leaving his helpless brother to assure his victory. Hades sends his Harpies to hinder Perseus from returning to Argos. Perseus overcomes Hades' minions and uses Medusa's head to turn the Kraken into stone, while Cepheus is killed by the cult leader and crushed under the breaking Kraken. Hades appears and sneers that because Perseus is a deity, he cannot be killed. Perseus retorts that while Hades can live eternally, it will not be in the world of mankind, and he uses the sword to expel Hades from the underworld. Andromeda suggests that Perseus become king and rule Argos alongside her because he saved it from ruin, but he declines. Zeus reappears before Perseus and offers to make him a god for the second time, but he declines. Zeus warns Perseus that Hades will return to rule the earth in darkness once mankind is sufficiently terrified. Because Perseus is determined to remain on earth, Zeus resurrects Io, and the two hug as Pegasus hovers above them.